What inspires change? What motivates us? It's what's inside that moves us. What moves you? Get the Scion story at scion.com.
After finishing all of his budget hearings, Senator Ben Pangilinan says the governor's budget for fiscal year 2014 sets up GovGuam for a $35 million shortfall. The senator says this comes from shortfalls with the medical loss ratio rebate estimates, shortfalls for landfill payments, and shortfalls for tax refunds.
John Camacho said that his calculation, based on the requirement of statute, said that we needed to set aside $129 million for income tax refunds for tax year 13 in the fiscal year 14 budget. And we went back and looked at the governor's provision, and the governor's provision only provided $113 million, which leaves a $16 million shortfall.
He's spinning what he knows is an estimate from Department of Revenue and Taxation, and what we cannot know at this time will be the actual payments for tax refunds. But there is one thing that's for sure, based on 2 years of a record that the administration has, is that tax refunds will be paid.
This isn't the only thing that Senator Pangilinan says is adding to the unbalanced budget. He says GovGuam and the Solid Waste Authority need to pay a total of $15.6 million in debt service payments, which are basically like loan payments on the bond that was borrowed to build the landfill. Tipping fees will cover $4.49 million, a number the senator says was verified by solid waste receiver Gershman, Brickner, and Bratton. He says the governor only budgeted $3.69 million in his budget.
But that leaves a $7.8 million shortfall because the total payment required is $15.6. So we, again, and that's a debt payment that we can't miss, we can't afford not to pay it. It's going to have to get paid.
Again, his math is off. You can get more details on that from BPMR.
However, despite repeated calls, PNC was unable to get in touch with anyone from BBMR prior to this newscast. We did, however, look at the budget request itself, and it shows that, in fact, the general fund is only paying about $3.69 million, and $11.9 million is to come from a special fund. It's that $11.9 million figure that Senator Pangilinan is questioning after Gershman, Brickner, and Bratton said tipping fees will only give them $4.69 million. Senator Pangilinan also says the medical loss ratio rebates are off. He says the governor's budget estimates that they will receive $3.37 million, but last year's rebates were at only $218,000. Torres says they disagree with all of Senator Pangilinan's numbers.
You know, I think when you review all these outrageous claims that this certain elected official keeps on making against the governor's fiscal policies, and you compare it to what's really come about because of the governor's fiscal policies, I think you can see that it's understandable for people to trust the governor's fiscal policies because they've paid tax refunds, they've eliminated the deficit, and they've made sure that there is no overspending in the budget.